Hey guys, what's up? Master Phoenix here, bringing you guys my True Draco deck profile for November 2017. This is just going to be my deck list that is, I guess it's going to be my competitive deck. Don't get me wrong, I'm a filthy scrub, so I use plenty of casual decks. In fact, if you look here, I have a Baton Boxer deck somewhere, I got some Burning Abyss, I got I got casual and competitive Burning Abyss. I got I don't really have Cyberse, but I just play it since it's automatically there. I got Go keys built. I also am now taking requests. I've always been taking requests, but now I'm promoting the fact that I'm taking requests. So if there's ever a deck that you guys want me to cover, please just take the time out your day to comment, and I will be sure to get that to you. And I'll be going by the order in which I see them. So it's basically kind of like first come, first serve. If I see the comment that tells me the deck that they want to see first, that will be the deck I cover first, but no worries, I will get to all of you eventually. So starting off, we first of all, of course, have Max C. This is just kind of to deter people from going out through all their plays, and that's really just it, because people don't really want me to be gaining all those cards from all the special summons, because special summoning is kind of like the mainstream aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, because it's no longer where you normal summon a 1920 vanilla beat stick and you just sit on it and float with maybe a couple back row. It's definitely a very heavy special summoning type game now. So that's just why I'm running that. Moving on, I have one copy of Ignis Heat, the True Draco Warrior, because he is limited at the time of recording this. You can, as with any of the monsters here, you contribute them normally or by contributing a continuous spell or trap card you control instead of a monster, which is preferable because then you get their effects. The spells pop spells and traps, and the traps pop the monsters. So the spells pop back row, and the traps pop front row. Moving on, we have other than that, him and Majesty Maiden are basically complete opposites. This one allows me to search True Draco or True King continuous spell cards from the deck and either activate or add to hand, whereas Majesty Maiden adds monsters to the hand. Moving on, we only have seven hand traps. One of which we have already covered. We have 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, just because it's Ash. I mean, why wouldn't you run it? It negates so many things. It's just too mainstream not to run. Moving on, we have triple Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, which is just good for negating. Well, I'm sorry. I also like to compare these two cards because Ash Blossom negates but doesn't destroy, but Ghost Ogre destroys but not negates. You're mainly going to be using this card for field spells like Spiral Resort and Dragon Diagram, Sky Iris, just any real field spell, because the way that the rulings work, they have to be on the field to resolve. So if you destroy them, it's like you're negating and destroying, because they can't actually activate if they're not on the field. Well, they can't resolve if they're not on the field, so that's what that's good for. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Majesty Maiden and True Draco Caster. This is just like this is the exact opposite of Ignis Heat. You contribute summon this card face up, attributing a continuous spell trap card you control to zero monster. Once per turn during either player's turn, meaning it's a quick effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control this tribute summon monster, you can add 1 True Draco or True King monster from deck to hand, meaning your targets are either this card, Masterpiece, or Ignis Heat. Normally I go for Masterpiece, but you can search out Ignis Heat if you want. You can search out another copy of this card if you want. And the cool part is it's not necessarily limited to once per turn. It is once per turn on this card, but if you have a second copy of this card on the field for some reason, I believe you're able to activate its effect a second time, so that's pretty cool. Moving on, we have the Boss Monster deck, which is 3 copies of Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King. Holy crap, this guy is the new Apocryphal Towers. Again, it has the same special ability as everybody else, that you can tribute continuous spell trap cards as well as monsters. See, that's a special thing about him. Instead of Ignis Heat and Majesty Maiden allowing you to tribute spells, traps, and or monsters, this one allows, like, I believe this one says instead of monsters. Yeah, instead of a monster. But this one allows you to tribute this one allows you to tribute continuous spell trap cards as well as monsters. And of course, it is unaffected by the effects of cards with the same card type, as the original card type the card's tributed for its summon. Which is basically what makes this card such a powerhouse. So, normally you're only going off for 2 tributes, but if you really wanted to go balls to the wall, you could tribute all 3 to make it immune to everything except by battle. Ideally, you're going to tribute 1 monster and 1 trap, that way it's immune to monster and trap effects, because you want it to be affected by spells, that way Diagram makes it 3250, because that 300 point difference is actually a lot, because swinging over something with 3250 is a lot harder than swinging over something with 2950. Like a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon can easily take care of that in the first turn, but there's not too much on the first turn, if anything, that can get rid of a 3250 monster. So normally just tribute a monster and a trap. It's unaffected by monsters and traps, and it's 3250, meaning all it can do is die by battle and maybe spell effects. And the odds of you having a Regeki in a 40 card, even if it is just a 40 card deck, the fact that it's 1 at 1 is just kind of very hard to pull off. And that will round off our monster lineup. Moving on, we have 1 copy of Raigeki, of course, just a staple. It's a better dark hole. 3 copies of Terraforming to search out our next card, which is 3 copies of Dragonic Diagram. This is just here because it's the field spell and it makes all our plays just really come together. Once per turn, you can use this effect to pop a card in hand or on field in order to add, it's basically your Stratos to the deck. It allows you to search out any True Draco or True King card from the deck to hand. Not monster, not spell trap, just any card. This is mainly good as a good target for cards that's already on the field, like your spell traps. You'll get rid of one of your spells if you want to pop back row, and if you want to get rid of one of your opponent's monsters, you get rid of you'll get rid of a trap. And the cool part about this card is you can actually get rid of set cards, because it just says when this card is sent from the spawn trap card sent to the graveyard, not when it's face up and sent to the graveyard. So that's just a really cool little nifty thing there. I guess this is more of a personal tech to my deck, but I like to run triple Pot of Duality, since you don't special summon really at all in this deck. This is just pretty cool. Because it allows you to search top 3, add 1 to hand, shuffle deck, and you can only activate 1 per turn, but who cares? And you can't special summon monsters, but again, who cares, because you're not going to be doing that in this deck at all. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. This one allows you to target 3 True Draco and or True King cards in your graveyard and shuffle them into the deck and then draw 1. And then after this effect resolves, you can tribute summon a True Draco or True King monster face up. And then of course it pops back row when it's destroyed. Then we're also running 3 copies of True Draco Heritage to round off our spell lineup. This card allows you to draw cards equal to the amount of True Draco and True King card types, monster spells, and or traps sent from your side of the field to the graveyard this turn. And then during your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves tribute summon 1 True Draco or True King and its name monster face up. And again, it's the same ability as all of them where it pops back row. Moving on to traps, we have 1 copy of True King's Return because it's limited at the time. this one is kind of special because it allows you to immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon as normal, and it pops a monster as normal. However, its second effect is what really makes it special. You can target one True Draco or True King monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. Also, for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon. This does go pretty well with Pot of Duality, because Duality is during your turn, but you're usually going to be using this during the opponent's turn. I don't know. Personally, I just found that really unique about that. Not many people actually use it. Not many people really use it, but, you know, it's just a cool nifty effect that, honestly, until I made this deck before, I didn't really understand that it had. But anyway, moving on, we have 3 copies of Solemn Strike and 3 copies of the OG Mirror Force. 3 copies of Solemn Strike because it's a staple, and I use the original Mirror Force because I don't think that in Link format, Quaking Mirror Force is good, because Link monsters can't be set, and honestly, Mirror Force just gets rid of all of them and sends them to the grave, which would include Link monsters. As for Stormy Mirror Force, would send them back to hand, so it's pretty good. I just don't like it as much, because then they'd still be able to summon them again, so I prefer that. And finally, to round off the main deck, as well as the trap and main deck lineup, we have 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. So it's again, when it's sent to the graveyard, pop a monster. The second effect again is also pretty special. You can target one other True Draco or True King card you control, destroy it, and if you do, the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls become half their current attack and defense, even if it leaves the field. So it's basically, its effect is continuous, which is amazing. Especially when you're trying to get over your opponent's, say, Clearwing Synchro Dragon, because the best way to get rid of that is through battle, and it's only got 1500. And you can just tribute one spell, shuffle back with Disciples, and then tribute something for Majesty Maiden or Ignis, just whatever. It's really good. No cards in the extra deck. If you want, you can just add, like, literally one of everything that's kind of even just on the slightest scale used. Like, you can run one copy of BLZ, one copy of Time Star, one copy of ABC, one copy of Spiral, one copy of what's another one that's used? One copy of Tree Toad, one copy of the Dark Law, just literally just one of everything. That's even slightly used for your Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. 3 copies of Drone Lockbird. I don't really use this too often, but you can use it. 1 Upstart Hoban, 1 Dark Hole, 3 Card Demise, 3 Twin Twisters, and 1 Skill Drain. All these cards are just extra text, or just additions to the deck that you can add if you want, but I don't personally see the point in making my deck inconsistent just to run these cards. So, thank you guys so much for watching. That being said, I've been your host, Cardmaster Phoenix, signing out. See you guys next time. Have a good one.